Hi girls and boys, I've just come in from sledging with my children. It's still snowy outside because it's the weekend. I'm recording this at the weekend, ready for you to listen to. When I was out sledging, I was thinking of all the books that we've got at home, which are snowy books, and I have chosen this one. It's called One Snowy Night by Nick Butterworth, and I hope you enjoy it. One Snowy Night by Nick Butterworth. It's cold in the park in winter, but Percy the park keeper doesn't mind. He puts on his warm coat and his big scarf. He wears 2 pairs of woolly socks inside his Wellington boots. Percy the park keeper loves being outside in the fresh air. In the middle of the park, there is a little hut. This is where Percy lives. When it gets too cold to be outside, Percy goes into his hut where it's nice and cosy and warm. The animals who live near the park all know Percy's hut. Every day he shares his lunch with them. One winter's night, it was so cold that it began to snow. Great big snowflakes fell past the window of Percy's hut. "Brrr," said Percy. "I think I'll need an extra blanket tonight." He made himself some hot cocoa and got ready for bed. Suddenly, Percy heard a tapping sound. There was somebody at the door. Now who can that be at this time of night? Thought Percy. He went to the door and looked out. There on the step was a squirrel. He looked very cold and miserable. "You can't get to sleep, Percy," said the squirrel. "My bed is full of snow." "Oh dear," said Percy. "Never mind. I've got plenty of room for 2. The squirrel snuggled down next to Percy and soon began to feel warm. Knock, knock. It was the door again. Now who can that be, thought Percy. Standing outside were 2 shivering rabbits. "It's freezing," said one rabbit. "It's frozen," said the other. "Oh, you poor thing," said Percy. "Come in and warm up." What do you think's going to happen next? Where do you think the rabbits are going to go? I wonder. The rabbits squeezed into the bed next to Percy and the squirrel. There wasn't much room. Could you face the other way?" Percy asked the squirrel. "Your tail is tickling my nose." "Oh dear," said Percy. "Now there's someone else at the door." It's getting a bit squishy in his bed, isn't it? Oh my goodness. With rabbits and with... what else is in there? Who was the first one in, do you remember? With the squirrel. I wonder who's going to be next. What do you think? Who might be? What other forest animals can you think of that might be next? It was a fox. He looked very cold and very hungry. Can I come in too? He asked. Percy scratched his head and thought for a minute. Why would Percy be thinking about letting a fox in, I wonder? Foxes and rabbits. Do you think they're a good combination? What do foxes like to eat? Not convinced they're the best combination. Let's see what Percy says. Well, if you promise to behave, he said. Oh, I promise, said the fox, and he squeezed into bed next to all the other animals. Oh, bump! Oops! Oh! The squirrel fell out. Who did that? Asked the squirrel crossly. Good gracious, said Percy. It's the door again. This time, Percy had quite a surprise. On the step was a badger, 2 ducks, a hedgehog, and a whole family of mice. And they all wanted a bed for the night. Poor old Percy and poor old Percy's bed. The animals pushed and they shoved and they rolled around the bed, but there was just not enough room for all of them. Soon the bed covers ended up in a big, tight ball. Oh my golly, where are they all going to sleep? I don't think they're all fitting in Percy's bed. Definitely doesn't look like it, does it? I wonder what's going to happen next. What do you think? Use your prediction skills. Percy's very kind, so he's not going to kick them all out, is he? He doesn't want the animals to be cold. What is going to happen? Because there's not enough room for them all in there. You have a guess. What do you think's going to happen next? Then, bump! The covers rolled right off the bed and everyone fell onto the floor. Oh dear, said Percy. This won't do at all. My bed is just too small. Suddenly, one of the mice pricked up his ears. What's that noise? What's that noise? He squeaked. Everyone listened hard. Now they could all hear it. There was a scratching, scraping sound. It seemed to be coming from underneath them. Oh, there's something moving under the floor, whispered Percy. The animals all looked frightened, and all the mice started to squeak at once. Oh dear, what can it be? It might be a monster with fierce claws and sharp teeth. The noise grew louder and louder and louder. Then one of the floorboards began to move. Look out! It's coming through the floor! Suddenly, there was a loud creak. Help! Cried the animals, and they all ran to hide. Ah! What could it be? What do you think it is? Do you think it's a monster coming up through the floorboards, ready to eat them all? Or maybe it's a scary wolf. Oh, I wonder What could it be? Do you think Percy's hiding under the bed? Let's see. Percy wasn't frightened. He started to chuckle. Then he laughed out loud. A small, dark head was sticking up through the floorboards. "This isn't a monster," said Percy. "It's a mole." I'm sorry to burst in like this," said the mole. "I knocked on the door, but nobody heard me." Percy helped the mole up through the hole in the floor and sat him on his hot water bottle to get warm. Then he put the floorboard back. "It's all right, everyone," he called. "You can come out now." But nobody moved. Nobody stirred. Nobody wanted to come out. The squirrel was tucked away in Percy's dressing gown pocket. The hedgehog was in his coat. The fox, the rabbits, the badger, and the ducks were all safely hidden away. The mice had even squeezed themselves into Percy's slippers. Everyone had found a cosy bed. "Well, I never," said Percy. Can you see everyone? The mice aren't in there, but all of the others are there. I can see the squirrel and the ducks. I can see the badger, the rabbits, the fox, and the ducks, and the hedgehog up there. They're all lovely and cosy warm. Percy yawned and snuggled down in his own bed once again. "Oh, that's better. Now I've got plenty of room," he said, "and a little to spare for a mole." Hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favourite ones. I like the Percy the Park Keeper books, and when it's snowing, it always makes me think of this story. Anyway, with any luck, it'll still be snowing when you listen to this story, and you'll have been able to go out sledging and having a great time. But if not, then I hope you had fun in the snow, building snowmen, throwing snowballs, or doing whatever you like to do in the snow, staying cosy warm inside perhaps. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.